Coach Miller?
How was your Thanksgiving?
It's a great Thanksgiving. You know, not usual that you're off and don't have a game on the weekend and at home. So the players actually got to leave very early on Wednesday, had all day Thursday off, and we had a late night practice on Friday. So everyone got to spend Thanksgiving with their family. So it was nice. Mine was nice, and now we've been back to work.
Would you catch us up a little bit on the Detroit game? I mean, statistically, a lot of hard to understand numbers. I mean, the rebounding differential jumps out to mind.
Sure. You know, we continue to struggle offensively on the year. It's a work in progress. We're not shooting the ball well. So when you look at offensive statistics, field goal percentage is low, three-point field goal percentage is low. Assist totals are really low because you're not making baskets. At the same time, we're off to a good start with team defense, and your field goal percentage defense is really, really solid. You're guarding the arc. You're turning over your opponent. So our defense right now is keeping us in games as our offense gets going. The Detroit game, we really struggled offensively in the first half. In the second half, we found the rhythm mainly because Chrissy Steffen got going and found back-to-back threes and really did some nice things. But you don't normally see a box score at the end of the game where you've been out-rebounded by 25 points and won. But our defensive field goal percentage that night was just good enough to keep us in it, and we didn't turn it over. And even though we didn't shoot a high percentage, we didn't give them easy baskets. We only had 5 turnovers for the game. So a unique box score. I looked at the box score with 4 minutes to go in the game, and we were down 31 rebounds. So we actually out-rebounded them by 6 rebounds in the last 4 minutes of the game to get it to 25, and found a way to secure that win. But 2-2, probably coming into the year is where we had hoped to be, knowing how difficult the first 2 games out of the gate were going to be. The Purdue game is kind of fool's gold for us. We almost beat a nationally ranked team. At the same time, we have not played very, very well offensively at all. So, you know, we hope to really start to step up and play better offensively.
Getting the offense rolling, is it a matter of getting better shots, people shooting better, players? I mean, is it players' strategy what gets the offense rolling?
It's certainly not one thing. We've got to get our players' shots where they're comfortable getting shots, and not just where the offense for the last decade has got us shots. We've got to, as a coaching staff, we've got to put our team this year in position to be successful. And that is being learned, where kids like to score the ball, where they're most successful. So a lot of ownership on the coaching staff. A lot of ownership on the players, that some of the shots we are missing, they're capable of making. And the veterans have made them before, and the freshmen have got to make them at this level. And so there's ownership by the coaches, there's ownership by the players. You know, ultimately, we're looking at everything offensively and adding things and tweaking things and trying to get back on a roll offensively.
Do those tweaks potentially include changes to the starting lineup, rotations, things like that?
We have to look at all of that. Rotation of who gets more minutes. If someone gets hot, did they get minutes that night? And then it's scout heavy. You know, Well Yoder shot the ball really well in one game, didn't get as many minutes the next game because we needed some defense. And so it's trying to push the right buttons. And sometimes as a coach you feel helpless because sometimes for whatever reason everything you do works, and then for whatever reason everything you do doesn't work. And so it's trying to find that right button this year.
How about,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, how about the 2 opponents this week? Though I know you don't like to look too far ahead.
Yeah, you know, almost don't know who the second opponent is, but Western Kentucky is better than their record indicates, first and foremost. They, like us, graduated some very, very good players. They still have a very experienced postgame. Their top 3 post players are seniors, and their starting 3 players are senior. So they're very experienced in the 3-4-5. Now, their go-to guards right now in the 1 and 2 position during the year are young, freshmen and sophomores. So they're experienced on the inside, inexperienced on the outside. What they have done really, really well is rebound the basketball. So it doesn't take a rocket science to know my concern going into this game. You don't necessarily have true stats in our close scrimmage, but let's just put it this way, that we were severely out-rebounded by Wright State, who turned around and got out-rebounded by Western Kentucky by over 20. And so there is some major concern, are we going to be able to rebound the basketball and compete with them? They're dedicated on throwing it inside. They're dedicated on getting post catches and trying to get high percentage shots. So you worry about foul trouble. You worry about how we're going to defend them inside and out, and can we complete the defensive possession with a rebound. Offensively, you worry that about their athleticism, about their length. They'll throw different defenses at us. They'll throw different presses at us to try to keep us off balance. We've got to be able to be aggressive against either defense, but their athleticism concerns you. They've played a game this year where they've held a team to 1 offensive rebound for the entire game. And they can be a very dominant rebounding team. Jack, I don't have much for Butler yet.
That's fine.
And they're very well coached, and they're very fundamental, and it's a big game for us because the 2 of us recruit a great deal against each other. But I will know more about them after we get through the Western Kentucky game.
Things can be done to exploit Western Kentucky's youth in the backcourt as part of the strategy?
We're going to try to pressure them. They've had a little bit of turnover issues at times. Some of that's youth, some of that's the ability to just want to force the ball inside. So we hope to create some turnovers and have what we call the 3-prong approach to post defense. You got to have good ball pressure, you got to have good help side, and then you challenge your post game to really work down there. They have not had great shooting percentages either, so we've got to make them take contested shots and make hard shots. They've been inconsistent at the arc, and their starting point guard didn't play over the Thanksgiving weekend with a broken nose. We expect her to be back, but if they're without their starting point guard, she's one of their best shooters. So again, it hurts their perimeter game if she can't go, but we expect her to be ready to go with that broken nose.
We good?
No, I got one more. Will President Mazie, will she be calling plays or handling subs? What will be her responsibility on the coach?
You know, as my coaching staff knows, I'm all ears right now for play calls because I haven't pushed a lot of right buttons offensively. So if President Mazie wants to give me a few suggestions during the game, I'm all ears on that. But it will be an honor. We've never had a sitting president on our team bench, and so as a guest and honor coach on her inauguration week is an honor for our program, and we look forward to her being involved with our game day routine.
And her seat will be, does she have a seat yet, assigned seat where she's going to be?
Most of our guest coaches are near the end.
She can sit anywhere she wants.
Yeah, we will try to get her involved as much as possible.
I do have one more question. Sorry to end on a serious note
Yeah.
instead. Can you update us on Simone Eli?
Some great question. Simone has been cleared for full contact. She was limited for a while, and now she is fully cleared. It's now getting her back up to speed. We're running some different things than we certainly did in the past. So going through new plays and new philosophies of how we do things both at the offense and defensive end. She's getting back up to speed, but it's nice to have her fully cleared for full practice, contact, everything, and we look forward to getting her back into the flow as much as possible.
All right.